this week we do have a very interesting guest, brother Fam, chat, everybody locked into the BRP. I feel like it was about 5 years ago, at this point where, at the very least, there were stories going around about a brother who worked the Cirque du Soleil, who was talking to the WWE and was about to be part of the WWE, and I think it was about the December 2020, something like that. We were introduced to this brother. At that time, we knew him as Reginald or Reggie. The flips was amazing. Such crazy work. Everything was to the point where my man was a 4-time WWE 24/7 champion. Fast forward a couple of years, actually not that long ago, he was representing the Scripps. You remember around the time when OTM was really just starting the OTM down there in NXT, he was doing this thing. But it's funny how change and things work because his contract ended this past June, right? And for some reason, I don't know who said what, but they're like, nah, get this brother right here, take him down to GCW and have him wrestle everybody. Have him take the summer. You know, I know last year was the summer of Jay Bougie. No disrespect to Bougie, but when in looking at what this brother we're about to bring to the stage has been doing from June to tonight, because hey, about an hour ago, he made his debut on Ring of Honor and on Wrestling Johnny TV on Honor Club. This weekend, he's got a matchup against Mustafa Ali. Of course, it's in GCW again. He'll be out in Chicago if you're out there, if you want to tap in online. This week on the Black Rasslin Podcast, family, give it up for Sidney Akeem.
Yo, what's up, fam? What's up, everybody?
How you doing, my brother? Let me turn this off. How you doing, my brother?
I'm gonna just say this right now. That intro, man, I ain't had an
Hey,
intro like that since.
hey.
I ain't never had an intro like that. That was a fire intro. We didn't say
Oh,
nothing
whoa.
else. We didn't say nothing more right now. That intro by itself was dope.
Well,
I appreciate that.
it was. I'm always. It's like I think the conversation about like what happened in the world and how the world changed during the pandemic. But then when I really started thinking, like, damn, like that was, and this is probably my first question. That's the first time we really saw you in a square circle at all. And from what I was reading, it sounds like this. Can you talk about this exchange between Cirque du Soleil and WWE and how you ended up in the ring? Because I saw a conversation that just said that, but like I don't know what is that. What did that exactly mean?
Man, so wrestling wasn't even a thought in my mind
Okay.
until 2019, about April of 2019. I was a fan growing up, watched it with my uncle when I was younger, but it was only like a 3 or 4 year span from like 2006 to 2000, 3 year span. So it was 2006 to 2009, essentially. Uh, or maybe a little bit before. My mind is messed up by all the bumps or whatever.
You've been
But
working, man.
yeah, but so yeah, 2019 comes around. I'm with Cirque du Soleil. We're traveling. We're in Orlando, and my coach comes to us on the very first day. He said, "Hey, the WWE wants to do an exchange with us." I'm like, the what? Ain't no you lying? Ain't no way.
Right.
But he's at NXT performing. I'm like, nah, it's not happening. So every week I kept asking, like, when is this exchange going to happen? When is this exchange going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
He said, we're going to go there on our day off and we're going to train a day as a wrestler. And they're going to come here on their day off and train the day as a circus performer. We went into the performance center our last week. We only had 5 weeks in Orlando. It was a short city.
Mm-hmm.
Our last week on Monday, we went to the performance center and we walked into the door. On Sunday night, my last show, I said, man, I'm going to sleep early. I'm going to try to get me a job because I was 16 years in at this point. I was ready to be done.
Right.
The show was going to Europe afterwards. I didn't even want to go to Europe the following year. My contract was over, and so I went in, and they was playing WrestleMania. I forget which one it was, but it was the one I think Kurt Angle's retirement. And
Okay.
then we see Shawn Michaels walk through the door. I look at my boy Duncan. I said, "Yo, is that Shawn Michaels?" Yep. Ain't no way.
No way, boy.
Hey, it happens.
Walk through the door. We're seeing the replica titles and all of these different things. And easy, we walk into the performance center, and then we started flipping, flipping in the ring, doing all of these crazy acrobatic things. And I'm just doing all these crazy flips, me and my circus guys. And then I did the back worm, my famous little back worm that I do under a clothesline. And when I did it, out of all people, Scotty Too Hottie, Scott Garland said, "Hey kid, do that again." And I did it again, and he had Matt Bloom watch. And they sort of talked, and he was like, "Oh my God," it was like said some good shit, good stuff or whatever. My bad, I don't know if I got curse or not.
Nah, you good. You good. You good.
No, you good. Very good.
So yeah, he saw that, and I said, "Bingo, we got action." So the next day, I said, "Yo," to Matt Bloom, like, "How does one get involved?" He said, "Oh, we have a tryout. Clear with your people, then I fight you." I said, "Say less." I didn't get anything clear. We had the week off, so I said, "Hey, I got it cleared. What's up?" I got a rental car. I'm like, guess I'm doing a tryout. And then I fly home the following Sunday, fly back to Orlando on Tuesday for the tryout. Completely crushed the tryout. Didn't even know what to expect. Completely crushed it. Matt Bloom most definitely did me a solid, getting me into the tryout at very last minute. But I went in there, cut a promo about my life. My life was never easy, has never been a walk in the park, sunshine or rainbows, nothing like that. So cut a promo about my life, about my uncle being shot in my bedroom. The same uncle that I used to watch wrestling with, the same uncle when he was killed, I stopped watching wrestling because it was just too painful to watch. So did that promo, and then before the end of the day, they came to me and said, "Hey, so you're a stud athlete, and we love your story. We want to bring you into WWE." I'm like, "Bet." They said, "Say when." They told me they were going to bring me in July, and this date, this date, this date. The trail went cold. I didn't hear anything, but I said, "You know what? I'm not going to just sit on my behind and just wait for them to call me." So I'm still working for Cirque du Soleil, and so we're going to places like Montreal, Connecticut. I went to St. Louis, all of these different places, and I'm looking up wrestling schools. I said, "Hey, let me get some wrestling in these schools and send the video to whoever in the performance center." So that's what I did. I trained in Connecticut, Montreal, Calgary, Vancouver. And when I got to Vancouver, I sent like a compilation video of just highlights. He was like, "Yeah, you look good. We're going to bring you in." And they flew me down for like a physical and blood work and all these different things. And by January 2020, I was signed.
That's crazy. So because I was thinking about, I'm looking at your record. You said you were wrestling and learning at a bunch of these schools, but you weren't wrestling in the indies. Like your first matches was happening in WWE rings.
At the performance center in front of legends. My very first match, they said, "I'm 2 weeks in. I'm greener than all my plants right here." I They said, "You have a match tomorrow." I'm like, "What? I ain't got no gear." I put like some circus tights on, uh, see through. It was bad. But I did all of the flips in the world, had zero psychology or whatever. It was horrible. But I learned real quick. Second match, I had a little bit better gear. And Edge, he watched my match at the Performance Center. And I said, "Can you give me some feedback?" And he said, "That was my second match ever." He's like, "Whoa, that was your second match ever? That was pretty damn good for your second match ever." So he put me over big time. I said, "Oh yeah, we got. I'm going to take this far most definitely."
Okay. Now, I guess I don't want, because we could probably skip back and forth too, but I mean, I'm interested because, again, like I mentioned, June is when you really, your indie career started taking off. And I watched the match with you and Jack Cartwheel. And I was like, damn, it was dope because y'all styles are so, it was
Similar.
that fam loves Jack Cartwheel.
He
But
the man.
it was ill. He did the moonsault off the top rope and landed sitting on the chairs, and like they was trying to hand him drinks after he did that. That was cool. But like, what What was that transition like? You know, going from wrestling in NXT, wrestling in WWE, and then going down to GCW. What was it? Were the different things you had to pick up, learning, or while working down there? Talk about that aspect.
Man, I always say that I was very fortunate, very blessed to get my start at the Coca-Cola of them all. The brand at the very top of it all, I got all of my experience there. So going, I'm not going to say it's going backwards, but the normal path is you work on the indies with the goals to get to WWE, now AEW, New Japan, all of these places. I was there. I was at the big dance, and so I got all the experience from. Like I told you, my second match, I had Edge critiquing me. It's like, what better learning can you get? Like, this is the place I want to learn from
Right.
and learn at. And so going back, I felt this. I felt restricted the whole time I was here in WWE because I was playing the character. I was playing the role that they gave me. And so I learned that when I go to the Indies, and all my friends told me Axiom, Apollo, Ricochet, um, EJ, Moose, everyone kept telling me, dude, you about to have the run of your life on the Indies. And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. In that first match with Jack, I knew exactly what they were talking about. I felt like, oh, I'm free. It's
Right.
very cliche to say that, but I really felt free because people saying, hey, yo, he could do this and y'all didn't renew his contract. Like, I legit did everything that they wanted me to do. And I made lemonade like out of lemons, legit. Because everything that I did as Reggie, we can talk about the Scripps character, but everything I did as Reggie, it was supposed to be nothing. That whole thing started as a fake name on a sheet of paper, and then I added all of the flair to it. Oh, he's a sommelier. I never knew what no. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna let you cook. But my question was those handcuffs that they put you in. Is that what made you run around and say that white woman like that?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yo, we are actors at the end of the day.
Oh my
Yeah.
bad.
I was just doing my job. I
Right.
was just doing the job.
Hey,
That was a
right.
job.
Them handcuffs got me paid.
Then-
Big time.
He was
that's
acting.
I,
He was
exactly.
acting.
It was active. But the thing
Twice.
is, a lot of people wouldn't do certain things. And I did it. I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it to the best of my ability. I come from the circus. And so egg on my face is not unknown for me. I did circus class with the clown classes, and I made myself the butt of jokes and whatever. And I got that. Coming here, it's just another form of circus. Just like wrestling is another form of circus, and circus is another form of wrestling.
No,
all these
yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm just like, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it better than everybody else. So I mean, I brought the suits with the high capris, and I started to speak with the French accent because I parle français un peu and things like that. I'm like, I didn't know what no sommelier was.
I'm from Memphis.
I still don't know what it's from.
He said only one that I knew was Wild Irish Road.
I'm like, it's weird. I'm like, bro, and I don't know why Google got me from Memphis. I'm from
Wait, your internet cut. Just
super weird that how does Google get it wrong? You know?
wait. Just say it again. Where you from? I'm sorry.
I'm from St. Louis, but
Okay.
on Google it says I'm from Memphis.
That's what everything was
Bill from
saying.
France.
Okay.
Weird. I'm like, how do they get it wrong? But I'm just like again, like Memphis, St. Louis. I'm from St. Louis. I'm from Walnut Park. What a sommelier is.
Right.
So they
I don't know
say St. Louis is a wild town.
Yeah.
How does one go from a wild town? Like, I don't want to be cliche and say Duluth or whatever, but how does one go from a wild town like that to Cirque du Soleil?
I was this close to ending up like my brothers. I'm one of 8. I have 4 sisters and 3 brothers. I'm going to give you the rundown on my family members. I never knew my mom. My mom died when I was 3 years old due to drug abuse. I never met my dad. I only heard that he was a big drug dealer, the one that make people take their clothes off to come into his house. Never met him, but I see how my mom and my dad knew each other or whatever. My grandmother raised me and my 7 brothers and sisters when my mom passed away. My oldest brother was in a car accident when he was like 15 or 16, messed his brain up completely. So he lives in a mental hospital to remain stable. My brother after him, stealing cars, going into jail, in and out of prison his entire life. He's late 40s right now. He's been in jail most of his life. Then there's me. I found circus at 11 years old, and it was because of the flips that I used to do. Me and my brothers and my uncles and many guys in the neighborhood used to always do flips in empty vacant lots on pissy mattresses and things like that. Take the padding off and just flip on springs. That's what we did. I found circus at 11, but it was that constant battle between circus or am I going to be like my brothers? Am I going to be like the guys in my neighborhood? And that battle, I mean, it was teetering my entire childhood. I'm here. I'm in the circus. I love what I'm doing, but nobody in my neighborhood know anything about the circus. So it's like, oh, you a clown. You a fruit. You all this or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, you ain't gonna talk to me that way. Let me go ahead and go back to my homeboy's crib. And I'm over here on the street. That peer pressure as a kid of finding that balance, and I couldn't find it. And so I was on and off. Lost my uncle in my bedroom. Lost my brothers. Not brothers, my homeboys, like my brothers. Got expelled from high school my junior year from a gang fight, thrown in jail for a couple of days. Bro, I ain't never did no major time. My brothers did major time, so I would never sit and tell people that I sat in there. I sat in there for like 48 hours.
Yeah,
and I'm just
long.
like,
it's too long.
That was enough. Yeah, it was more than enough.
I can't do this.
Right.
I cannot do this. And so when I got out, I said, I'm gonna get my life together or whatever. I didn't. It took my homeboy getting killed that summer to really get my life together. And then I said, I'm gonna stick with the circus. Circus is gonna be the thing that takes me out the hood, takes me to a whole nother world. And that's what it did.
Literally.
And then my younger brother, he followed my footsteps, but he couldn't. He's hooked on drugs real bad. So
My question was, you have all these influences as a child. Who was that influence within the circus that made you that gave you that push, that made you keep like this is where you should be? That saw something in you to say you need to be here.
A white woman.
Okay.
A white woman. 2 actually. One woman was my mentor. So my mentor is the one that actually introduced me to circus. Her name is Diane Miller. She's like my mom. And so I did this program, and then after the program, they gave us all mentors. And my mentor, she was told to spend an hour a week for 10 weeks. So a total of 10 hours for 10 weeks. And after that 10 weeks, we can decide if we want to continue our relationship or not. Again, I'm from the hood. I ain't never seen no white person in my neighborhood. If a white person come in, you just better run.
That's right.
You're not dealing with no white people in the neighborhood. And so she met me at school for the first time. What am I going to the office for? It was this older white woman. What is your name? What do you like to do? All of these different things. I'm just shy. I'm like, I don't know how to talk to this woman or whatever. And so she introduced me to circus because she knew I love to flip. And then she took me to my very first circus show. And when we went in there, I said, yo, can we leave? This is stupid. This is like, I feel uncomfortable. And she let me leave. Then she took me to another circus. I started flipping and things like that. So she really was always persistent on not giving up on me, even when I gave up on myself. But she wasn't like a basketball coach or a football coach. Do this the right way, or you want to get results or whatever. If I said I want to leave, she's like, all right, let's leave. But then she would take me back to the circus or to a show 3 weeks later, a month later, and reintroduce it to me. She wasn't forcing it to me, forcing it down my throat. So it was her, and then the circus coach, Jessica Hintoff. I mean, that woman, she battles with me. Like, she was the one where she saw so much potential in me, But every time I would go and I said, yeah, I can't do this. I need to go back to the hood. And I'll leave. And she was like, are you sure you want to leave? Don't leave. And she was the one saying, stay here, stay here. And I'm like, yo, I'm not having no white woman tell me what to do. I mean, it was just.
I said that before.
I said that this morning.
I did live by that when I divorced my ex-wife.
There you go. There you go. Sidney. Now,
No.
I wanted to ask. Damn, you just threw me off. It just broke up my train.
Shout out to my beautiful wife right now, Rasslin.
Oh, salute. Oh wait, no. So there's video out there. I've seen you. I hear you talking about the mentors you've had in your life. I've seen you in videos on your Instagram, online, talking to, I guess people in the community. I'm assuming you're reaching out to kids. Talk about. I'm assuming you. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are you trying to pay that forward to the kids in the community and stuff like that?
That's always been my number one priority, even when I was in the circus. In the circus, I went to school in Montreal in Canada, but I would always go back and help Circus Harmony. Circus Harmony is the circus that I started at when I was very young. So I always go back, help the students there, teach them, train them, all of these different things. And so that was always the goal. And now when I became a wrestler, it was just a much bigger platform. So I said, all right, now I'm going to get the message to not only just the students and the kids in my neighborhood, but kids all around the world. And for the longest time, I was trying to plant the seeds in WWE's like, hey, I have this nonprofit that I want to start, RBB, Rise Beyond Borders, basically to give kids a much better life than what they see every day. Kids that grew up just like me that didn't have that outlet. I want to be that light, that beacon of light for so many kids. But I think they knew that they weren't going to get behind it because they knew they weren't going to resign me. So dead end. But now, like I said, the handcuffs are off in so many ways because now I'm able to wrestle how I want to wrestle. Now I'm able to do the work that's most important.
Thanks.
Wrestling, circus, always second nature. It was just a vehicle to get to where I was actually going. And so now I'm pursuing motivational speaking. So I'm doing wrestling as well, also pursuing a long-term contract, but it's going to come with, you have to understand that I'm not going to walk away from my much bigger purpose as a motivational speaker, speaking to the youth, going to these different schools and things like that. I was actually at Eustis High School this morning with Mark Merrow. He's a motivational speaker, and he invited me, and just to see it, I mean, you see these sixth graders tearing and getting super emotional because of his story. I'm just like, man, this is what I was called on this earth to do, to speak in front of large groups of people and inspire. I'm actually flying to St. Louis tomorrow morning, and I'm speaking at my rival high school to the football team. So I thought about putting my my jersey on.
What?
I ain't trying to get jumped when
I was gonna say that. You got a match this weekend. Calm down. Calm down.
That's the pre-match. That's the pre-show.
He said he got to get ready.
So you mentioned circus quite a few times, right? And a lot of folks, we grew up in our minds, it's two things, right? It's Barnum and Bailey, you know what I'm saying? Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, and then Universal. You know what I mean? That's the two things we. You know what I mean? So when you say circus and you have your circus, what does that entail? Like, what are we going to see? Y'all, do you have a tiger?
Fam, that's a great question. I do not have a tiger. I got a bear. No, I ain't got a bear either.
It's lit.
Imagine walking the bear in the hood on Natural Bridge of Kings Highway.
That's his name, King. The bear's name is going to be King. Come on, King. Come on,
the circus. That's a great question, and I actually have a comic book that I'm writing about my life. I'm the superhero, and my origin story is my story. A kid from St. Louis who joins the circus gets his powers from the circus, and in that story, I have to tell because the background from St. Louis, the gangs, the drugs, the violence. That's you guys can all relate to that. I can talk to you about a little bit of that, but you guys will understand. what I need to people to understand is the circus, because like you said, there's a spectrum, and people only know right now. I'll put Universal Circus and Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey on one side, and then you have Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil is the brand name, just like WWE. A lot of people won't know about the small indie promotions, but they're gonna know about WWE. A lot of people don't know about the small circus companies, but they're gonna know about Cirque du Soleil. I made it to the top of both of those fields, but I want to tell the story of what the circus actually is. I started in a youth circus. A youth circus is essentially an after-school program for all different types of kids from all around the city that are coming there just for an escape. So it was really an after-school hobby for me in the very beginning. I was fortunate enough to be in St. Louis, where the circus program is ran by a crazy woman named Jessica Hintoff, who just believes that her school is the best. If you stick with it, you can make a real profession out of it. And so I did. And so I have Circus Harmony, and then I have Circus Flora. I performed with Ringling Brothers, Soul Circus, all of those different things to help me. And then I went to Circus College, the feeder school for Cirque du Soleil in Montreal in Canada. So I did that for 3 years. And that process to get into that school is very similar to a WWE tryout, but a lot more difficult. Way more difficult. Damn. They give you jerseys according to your last name, alphabetical order. So I was number 5 because my name was B.A. Bateman, B-A-T. And so I had this jersey number 5. And on the first day, it's a week long for the people that make it, but it was 150 people on the first day of this tryout. You get in, they give you a jersey with a number, and you're in all of these different groups. And you have to do dance, acrobatics, flexibility, weight training, all of these different things. And so acrobatics was the first thing they saw. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a breeze, big fella. So I go out. They said, do this trick. I did this trick. They said, do a free pass. I did whatever I did. It was like, yeah, we want them. We need him like right away. Like I'm always strategic in what I'm like. I know what I'm gonna do. I wasn't the best dancer, but I was real good at acrobatics. And so the good thing about, but the scary part about that school is 150 people the first day. At the very end of the day, 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. We're all in the cafeteria. Some woman comes down with like a USB key. She plugs it into the TV, and all of these numbers pop up. If your number's there, you made it to the second day. If your number isn't there, you have, I guess, 5 days to enjoy the beautiful city of Montreal because you've been cut.
Damn.
So they do that every day. So they cut half the first day. So it went from like 150 to about 70, 60 students. And then the next day it went from 60 to like 40. And then after that second day, if you made it through the other days, you're fine. You've made it. But you have to wait 2 months to see if they are going to accept you or not. And by the end of it all, they accepted 32 students in my class. So it was 150 there. And then there was tryouts in Vancouver and Calgary and Paris and all of these different places. So total, it could have been like 500 students applying for that year, and they only selected 32. And we were considered a big class. Damn. So 3 years there, graduated, Seven Fingers, another big French-Canadian company that I worked for. Then I did some NBA halftime shows, performing acrobatics. And I did another Flip Fabric, another Quebec circus company, and then Cirque du Soleil. It's a lot of circus out there.
Was gymnastics just never your focus?
Never did gymnastics. I was just a street tumbler.
You fooled the hell out of us.
Everyone said all the time, go back to gymnastics. This is not gymnastics. I'm like, my boy, I didn't even do gymnastics. So I can't go back to somewhere that I've never been.
Right. DDM?
No, it's just interesting, right? Because I'm always intrigued when I meet you guys outside of the program. Because here's my thing, right? And maybe you can answer this for me, maybe you can't. But in hearing your story, hearing the background, I'm always interested in how much input you guys have in your character when you go to these big promotions, because there's a lot of meat in your personality and in your actual story. And I'm trying to figure out how a black kid from St. Louis who goes to circus school ends up with the sommelier gimmick saving Carmella. Like, how do y'all have input in that? Like, for those of us who don't know, how does this work?
Break it down.
So, I'm an open book, by the way.
Mm.
Okay.
I would never incriminate myself, but I'm always going to be an open book. I don't even know how to answer that question because I don't even know. I thought I did. But when they gave me the sommelier gimmick, I did. I'm like, okay, I don't drink. I don't know anything about wine, but I got like a little bit of French background. I got some real nice tight suits. I can speak like Akeem coming to America. Like, I guess it works. So
it worked enough.
Yeah, I mean, people were messaging me like, "Hey, Reggie, can you recommend a nice wine to go with a white tiger?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't drink. I'm not Googling it. Like, yeah, you gonna take the Chateau Ballon, the 1982 red with. I'm like, bro, I don't know, but Google it or whatever. He's like, "You're the best sommelier." I'm like, appreciate you, but but okay, I got a little sidetracked.
You good?
The sommelier character, I think I had a lot more say in that where it was going because it evolved from like traits that are really about me, and then the 24/7 character as well. That was all me, and a lot of the ideas they wanted to do, obviously real moves or whatever. Let's get to NXT because this is where that question right there, I'm very confused myself. I have a meeting with the higher ups in NXT when I first got there about the repackaging or whatever. I always wanted to go under a mask, but it was a completely different story than what we saw. We was gonna do a mask, and I talked to Rey Mysterio. He was gonna be a part of it. And it was just gonna be, I was gonna be a babyface. I was gonna finally use my actual story. At the very beginning, they told me you have you're a stud athlete. We love your story. We want to bring you in.
Right.
Why the hell we didn't use the story at all?
Yeah.
Someone that is very important in NXT. He heard my story for the first time. He goes, "Huh? Well, good luck making you people hate you." I said, "Well, motherfucker, you can make me a babyface," but they were so adamant about me being a dark poet. I'm not gonna snitch on this dude. But he was all like, "I have this character." He said, "What do you like to do?" I said, "I play basketball. I'm a writer. I do poetry." He's like, "Oh, I have this character. I've been thinking like a dark poet." I'm like, "That's interesting," or whatever. And me, I'm just like, "Look, I'm an artist. I'm just gonna make whatever works." That shit didn't work at all. So
Dark
I'm gonna
poet sound like the genius.
The genius.
I'm gonna skip all of that mask character. Jason Voorhees jumpsuit, Michael Myers, ripped bottom jeans, everything, whatever. I'm gonna go to the OTM scripts because that was all of me.
Right.
Until it wasn't. Until it wasn't.
Damn.
I had to force. I'm a writer. I'm very creative. I write my comic books. I have a TV show written. I have my autobiography, children's books, all of these different things. So I wrote a vignette, and then I handpicked 2 guys to be a part of OTM. And the 2 guys I picked, very similar to me, love those dudes, my brothers, Bronco and Lucian. I filmed it in a warehouse, and I used the Training Day music, or I used some music. And I did it to where I was Frank Lucas when he was recruiting his brother from American Gangster.
Okay.
Sitting at the table and whatever. When I sent it to Sean, he said, "I love it. This is what we're thinking, a mix between Hurt Business and Nation of Domination." I'm like, my man, I like where you're going. I like your vision because that's where and these are the perfect 2 guys. That's why I picked them. I'm doing your work for y'all now. But let's go. Let's go. And we got the rolling. Rolling. Everything is good. And then I sent another vignette. I am having my boys that film in Orlando I'm just meeting. I'm like, let's film some stuff. And I'm doing it all. And then I'm sending it to them. Like, we like that. And every time we got a vignette we got our first big vignette. And they wanted to make it seem like they wrote the vignette. These mofos just took all of the vignettes I did and kind of put it in one. I'm like, I see what you did. You didn't want this to be for me, but you took everything that I said, you just word puzzled it real quick. But I can live with that. And then OTM started to go downhill when they wanted us to drink malt liquor on TV. I'm just like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of freedom to write my own promos and do things, and I nicked a bunch of things. We weren't gonna drink 40s out of a brown paper bag. We weren't gonna do
that part.
Yeah,
that
facts.
Part. So let me, because now you're giving me the tea. So Sid, right? So
this motherfucker.
Were Bronco and Lucian already a tag team, or you put them together?
No, they were a tag team.
They were a tag team.
They were like
sitting because I had never seen them before.
Right.
Yeah, they were pretty new. And I'm telling you right now, I wish them boys all of the success in the world. Those two dudes, and that's why I picked them. I'm very particular who I put my career in someone else's hands. Those are genuine dudes right there. Genuine dudes. A lot of people don't know, but them boys are good-hearted people. And I was like, I want to work with these boys. And they treated me like the big brother that I was. They called me for advice and all of these different things, and it felt real good. And that was our dynamic. And even when Jada came, the same thing. Big sister rode to her, and they're gonna be stars, 100%.
Facts. Yeah.
The company just didn't see me with them as stars, but that's cool. I'm happy with that because I'm actually able to do a lot more than what I've ever could have done in those with those restraints.
They didn't see it then,
right?
Yeah.
But as we see,
they seeing it now. I tell you that much. They seeing it now.
I'm telling you right now. I got this big old window right here, and it's the perfect size for them to back that Brinks truck up when they come calling.
Absolutely. So is it giving creative? Because from what you're describing, right? You're writing a comic book. You put these vignettes together for OTM. Came up with that concept. It's giving creative for me. So do you see yourself working in creative, creating characters for other wrestlers, going into that sphere outside of in-ring?
No. So my wife and kids, no. No. I wouldn't do that. I'm more geared towards acting. I've been taking acting classes with my amazing acting coach, Jim Braswell, here in Orlando, who I put a lot of wrestlers on right now. They've been working with him, and you've seen their work is getting so much better. But acting has always been a goal of mine, just like I never thought wrestling was possible. I never thought acting was possible. But now I'm living this life where everything that I want is very much so possible. And so get into acting just to get to a bigger platform so that I can help kids. I want kids to know that the life is their oyster. They can do anything that they want to do, but they just have to think outside the box. The route that you want to take, it may not be this. It may be this really unorthodox path, but you're going to finally get to where you want to get. And you just cannot limit yourself to being a basketball player, a football player, a rapper, or whatever. I found my way out through a circus. I couldn't go 2 streets over because of rival gangs. I was doing acrobatics in Budapest, in Russia, in Israel, in France, in Spain, Argentina, all of these places. I couldn't even pinpoint them on a map back in the day. And now my passport, I have to get 2 passports. They're completely full with work visas and all in other countries and things like that. So
talk to him.
I know that's right.
I know this weekend you don't need a passport for this ass whipping you about to give Mustafa Ali, right?
Yeah,
I
look at
do
that.
not, but I'm going to Chicago. They don't like St. Louis, and my
That's a fact.
and my gear is St. Louis out.
There you
So,
go. I like that.
Well, damn.
So we'll see.
Hold
like
on.
that.
He's
Security
from
or something.
Chicago, right?
He is.
I like
Ooh.
this. I like that talk. I like
I
this.
got a win streak right now, 6-0. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yo, wait,
You gonna put his ass.
you facts. Wait, because you doing the damn thing. What I again the matches that I was watching on the YouTube, because you're doing the stuff that I've been seeing you doing in NXT. It's not like it was a big learning curve or anything. But this finisher though, my man, he hitting 2 back spring elbows, and then on the third back spring, kapaya! Like, talk about, was this something, I mean, you talked about restrictions earlier. Was this something you was trying to do in NXT with concept?
I didn't even think about this in NXT.
Mm.
I'm just like, I was so restricted, my creative part of my mind didn't even work. It's like, nah, don't do that. You can't do that. They don't want to see it over there.
Right.
Yeah. And so, but I did learn the hard way. I just want to do everything. And I did that my second match with Ninja Mac, and I blew all the way up.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I can't do everything. I'm gonna just do something.
Nah, it looks dope. I'll tell you what, it looks dope. I was again watching stuff back earlier today, and a couple times when you hit it, that it is clean. It is real
you gotta
clean.
watch Rich Swann take it. I posted my full match with him on YouTube. That match was insane.
What facts? Facts. What I'm gonna do, because we could probably do this all night, but I said earlier, we got a packed show, so we
back after you whip Mustafa Ali ass.
Facts.
Let me know, bro. And again, I'm gonna tell you right now, don't keep asking me questions. I'll be talking all the time. I talk too much.
We'll stick a pin in this, but we definitely gonna have you come back. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop some links in the description later on, and when this goes up on its own, so people can check out some of the stuff you've been doing if they ain't seen it already. Before you get out of here though, Sidney Akeem, do you have any links? Anything you want to shout out to the people before we get out of here?
Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube.
There you
go. My Twitter is Sidney.Akeem, and my Instagram is Sidney Akeem B.
There you go.
I think.
New York.
No, you're right.
It's somewhere. Just type up Flippy Dude from St. Louis Circus Sommelier flipping 24 champion, whatever.
Certain day sommelier is crazy.
It's Sidney Akeem B. It's Sidney Akeem B. I saw the picture with the chat. So I was like, okay,
that's what, yeah.
It's official. It's official. All right, Sidney Akeem, thank you for coming through. Really appreciate you. Good luck this weekend. Although I don't know if you're gonna need it. Go beat Ali ass. Go beat Ali ass. And we'll talk to you soon.
For my people, right?
No doubt. You already know. All right, man. Take care. We'll talk soon. You have a good one.